The Interview Show. I'm Kristen Jackson. I'm here today with Peter McGlynn, who plays Austin Lee on AboveGround. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great now, thank you.
Oh. So tell me a little bit about your character, Austin Lee.
Austin Lee. I dare say he is one of the more complicated characters in this series. That's one of the things I love about him. He has been around, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, Austin is one of those people who is sort of like a genius. Not to sound arrogant or anything, but he's kind of like a genius in the sense that he's too smart for his own good. Like he's been a really smart person who just gets to the answer, gets to the crux of the matter more easily than others. And then where he trips himself up, I think, is he gets frustrated when people don't understand him or understand how he got there and don't just get it and want to, you know, believe him.
I see.
And, well, that's just one aspect of who he is.
Right.
Austin also is a big believer in a good time. He is. I mean, in the nicest way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, as a talent judge, I mean, he's obviously pretty stressed with this too. He also looks like he hits the bottle a little too hard at times. Would you say you can relate personally to him as a character?
I resemble that right now. No, but, not, well, let's see. In the having a good time way, yeah. But in that way, not so much. In looking like a hag in the morning, probably, yeah, for sure.
No.
But I think Austin does maybe overindulge somewhat regularly. And it has, again, to do with the fact that he has so many wheels going and so many deep feelings going, and this has been going on in his life for quite some time because he's, you know, middle-aged ish,
dare we say,
middle-aged ish,
right?
And so you know he is a self-medicator, let's say, a little bit. So he starts out not meaning any harm, and then you know goes a little too far sometimes, but he certainly has good intentions.
Right, right. What's the most challenging aspect of playing him?
Oh, that's a good question, Kristen. The most challenging aspect? You know, I think the reason I'm challenged by that question, actually, is because from the moment I got the sides and auditioned for this role, there was something about it that just was calling to me. I mean, I just felt it. I wanted it. It just... And, you know, the truth of the matter is, and I don't know if the producers will remember this, but the morning I went and auditioned for this, I had a very late night. And now, not a big party night or anything like that, but I'd had a really late night on a set or something and had hardly any sleep. But it was one of those things, I just felt this role calling me, and I got up and just threw it together and went in there and thought, oh, God, you know. But whatever, here goes. And so, and so... challenging about playing Austin. Yeah, I guess I don't... rather than find it challenging, I find it just... It's this journey where I continue to explore and discover more layers because there's so many layers to this guy, and I'm just more and more excited about always finding them. So it's not really challenging as much as it is exciting.
That's exciting. So you could take this role and apply it to other roles. You can see your depth and your growth as an actor as well.
Oh, absolutely. Because although what the audience may see oftentimes in the various episodes is just a side of Austin that is maybe more one-sided, you know, less multi-layered, less complicated. But I know differently, and so it's been fun for me to anticipate enjoying, experiencing different layers of Austin's feelings and what he awakens to in the process. That he may have like kind of numbed out a little bit over the years.
So what's it like working with director Eric Smithgun?
Working with Eric Smithgun has been a delight. I mean, he and his team are really, really great. I mean, it's something to do with the immediate personal way that you're able to communicate and connect and attach and be heard and seen, and that cold kind of really give and take.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing that's made it really great is that Eric's vision for this, from the first time he and I sat down and talked about this role and the overall concept of the show.
Yeah.
His vision has been so clear and precise and concise, which makes it so much easier for an actor to understand what he wants.
Right.
You know, and who this character he has written is, and that's huge.
Yeah.
You know, so huge, because otherwise, an actor, if they're not kind of directed that way, they'll read whatever they have into it, and maybe that's great. But with Eric, he's made it really easy because it's so clear to him who Austin is, and while at the same time, I feel he's very open to discovering who I, as a person, might find in Austin and bring to the role, and so that created an environment where it has been really safe for me to just bring myself into the character and bring my own thoughts and feelings about Austin as they evolve and are discovered, and build it together. You know, so it's that C word, you know, collaboration.
True collaborative
really
effort. Yeah.
Talk about and say they have, but we really have. You know, so that's been really great.
Yeah, that's pretty rare in Hollywood, it seems.
Yes.
So I have a question for you about audiences. What's your vision? What do you hope that audiences will take away from your performance as Austin and from the series?
Okay. Well, from my performance as Austin, I would hope that, like any character that you see in any project, usually a well-written character can, you know, people can relate to some character in some story. There's some aspect to a character, something they've gone through, some feeling, some characteristics, some pain, you know, that they may have had that people identify with. You know, people always will ask you, oh, which one do you identify with, or who did you, and there's a different character in any movie or story that somebody might have connected with more.
Right, that's true.
And so certainly Austin has just really lots of deep feelings and deep thoughts, and has had a lot of suffering that he has tried to avoid and hasn't avoided, and is dealing with little by little through the story. A lot of what happens in the story takes Austin by surprise in the way that it affects him and opens him back up again and reminds him of earlier times in his life.
Yeah. And
so I would hope that the audience, some members of the audience anyway, might relate to what it's like to have forgotten a part of yourself and then find it again and enjoy it again. Now, for the whole story, I mean, I have been so excited about this whole story since I first learned about it, not just from when I first auditioned, because I didn't know a lot of the underlayers of the story at the time.
Yeah.
And as I've learned about them, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. This is so great, because I mean, I love espionage anyway. Not that it's a spy story, but I like mystery and espionage and suspense. And suspense.
Yeah.
And then you find out, like in some episode here, that wait a minute, what? You know,
it's very unpredictable.
Yes, but so I love that about it, and so I think the audience hopefully will catch on to that early on and get some inkling that there's more here than what it seems to be. You know, this is not just some mockumentary singing competition show at all. You know, at all, no.
No, it's true. I like the human, and that's often how life plays out, right? Like there's always an evolution, a deeper evolution in the story that we all write called life. So if you could describe AboveGround in one word, what would that be?
One word.
One word.
You know, let's see. Evocative?
That's a good one.
I'm not sure I know what that means, but I think I do.
Okay.
And well, what I think it means, is that it does, you know, bring up, stirs up, you know, thoughts and feelings and questions, and that.
That's a good one. I mean,
Okay.
evocative. No, it was conveyed to me. You did good.
All right. Thank you.
So, are there any other projects you're working on right now?
I am actually. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm working on a film called Defriended, and the dead is spelled D-E-A-D. Like,
gosh.
And it's a treatment of how cyberbullying can have such ramifications. And there's a young person in the story, 13-year-old boy, who has the beginnings of Asperger's syndrome, and this whole autism spectrum that is very in trend right now and talked about a lot. And so it just happens that through cyberbullying, this young Asperger's person has a lot of trouble, and the ramifications that come from that basically throughout. So hopefully it's a film that will touch people and inform them in a way as well as entertain them, because it's suspenseful and like that. So that's something else I'm working on.
It's a tough topic to to hammer out, and especially, but social media is such a transformational tool. How do you engage with social media?
Not very well. Not very, only because I don't have great technical skills.
Oh.
Me and the computer are friends because we have to be. It's kind of like when you have a relative that you're stuck with.
Oh. Yeah.
So you have compassion and you love them anyway.
Yeah.
So that's me and social media. I try.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where can we follow up with your work and find the things you've been working on?
Well, I'm sure when you put my name in Google, boom.
Oh, just blow me away with results?
Yeah,
okay.
Simple as that.
You're like, Google me. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, then.
Thank you, Kristen.
Well, thanks so much for joining me, Peter.
No, you're welcome.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.